What is up, guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix. I talk about anime, manga, video games, geek culture, and Japanese culture. So today we are back at talking about Hollywood, and this time why Hollywood keeps ginger swapping. Yes, ginger swapping, and I actually got this from Clownfish TV because apparently, one of their there's in Clownfish TV there's Neon and then Geeky Sparkles. And Geeky Sparkles is actually a redhead over there. So, and I kept looking. I've actually never really thought about it, really. But then when I started looking at all a lot of the characters that were gender swapped, not gender swap, race swap, were swapped with, it was either a white person or a redheaded white person, specifically a redheaded, right? And I always wonder, because Hollywood likes to talk about oppressed minorities and, such as immigrants, Latinos, Africans, LGBT, in some religious groups, I guess. They always talk about oppressed minorities. However, it seems to me, or maybe they are ignoring the fact, or maybe they don't know their history, but redheads are an oppressed minority, or rather, I wouldn't say oppressed, but they are a minority in general. 1% of the population is actually redheaded, okay? And most of them come from Europe and some from America. And let's go over the points, right? So let's take a look at some of the characters in Hollywood and entertainment that have been race swapped from a redhead over to, let's say, an African American. One of the first times I noticed this was with The Little Mermaid, right? The Little Mermaid, which, by the way, it's the original, the cartoon, the animated movie from Disney. Ariel is a beautiful redheaded white girl from the ocean, right? And in the live action, they're going to race swap her with an African American, right? But why? Exactly why? I mean, there's millions of redheads all over the world. You're telling me that you couldn't find one for this part? Another one was with Jimmy Olsen from the Supergirl series. Now, I watched the Supergirl series, and back then I actually liked it. I had absolutely no idea who Jimmy Olsen was because I didn't read the comic books. But I didn't know that Jimmy Olsen was actually a redhead. When I found out that he was a redhead, I was like, wait, are you serious? But how come they didn't get Ron Weasley, the actor for Ron Weasley? That's what I'm saying. There's tons of redheads, right? That's one of the first things that came to mind. I mean, they could have gotten or maybe some other redhead. You could go to Ireland and there's millions of them, right? And another one was, and this one was really puzzling, really puzzling, because Starfire, the live-action Teen Titans series, which by the way is actually really good. It's actually really good. At least I think it's good, right? But then they took Starfire, and which happens to be a redhead. Gee, go figure. She happens to be a redhead, and they swapped her with an African American girl. Why? Why do they keep doing this, right? And then came, again from the Flash series, was Iris Allen, basically Barry Allen's girlfriend, who was also a redhead. And guess what happened? She was switched with an African American girl. And by the way, the black girl from the Flash series, she's hot. I honestly think she's hot. I think she's really beautiful. But still, you couldn't find a redhead. You couldn't find a redhead. Seriously, there's millions of them. Another one was with Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. The new Spider-Man theory, with Tom Holland Spider-Man, Mary Jane, redhead, another redhead, and they switch her with a Latina, right? Or actually, is Zendaya Latina? No, actually, I'm sorry. Zendaya is actually half black and half white, right? But she can come across as Latina. I don't know. So why couldn't they get a redhead to play the part? And then finally was with Carrie Allen, and this is actually recently. So if you guys don't know, and I'm actually just found out about this, Carrie Kelly was actually the female Robin, right? The female Robin, and according to Bounding into Comics, she's going to be race swapped in a new series with, you guessed it, an African American girl. And look, all these people, all these swaps, like the African actors that they choose, they're actually very beautiful people. Like Iris Allen from the Flash series, the chick, the black girl, she's fucking hot. But it's like, I think it's kind of disrespectful to completely dismiss and ignore, you know, redheaded actors. You know, it's like, it's almost as if like Hollywood doesn't really care about redheads. Why is that? And I think one of the reasons is because redheads are considered white, and in Hollywood, in the media, they say, oh, it's a white person. It's a white person. Who gives a crap, you know? Like, that's kind of like how they see it. So, and now the second point here. So I went through the list of actors that were race swapped. The second point here is Hollywood and the media are always talking about how they support minority groups, such as Africans, Latinos, and these groups need representation, right? However, they know that redheads are literally 1% of the population in the entire world. Okay? On top of that, redheads in Ireland, which is where most of the redheads come from, redheads in Ireland have actually been oppressed for hundreds of years. If you know your history, right? If you know your European history, the Irish potato famine caused millions of Irish people to die because the Queen of England would not help them. And back then, they thought it was okay to just let them starve, right? That was the mentality of the old world. Redheads are the minority, so why is it that Hollywood pays no attention to these minority groups? Could it be that they're white? Gee, I wonder. Now, last point here I want to make is that Hollywood media has made it okay to hate on white people, but removing white people from movie roles does not fix the problem. It only makes it worse, and at the end of the day, they are putting people against each other. Okay, so they're ignoring one minority groups, the redheads, giving them absolutely no attention and acting as if they don't freaking exist, and then paying more attention to another group. You know, it's like this is why when you make a movie, you gotta stop thinking about things like representation and diversity and inclusion, and just make a good movie with people that are qualified. Because if you just focus on representation all the time, then you're gonna have a mess, and you're just gonna have people just fighting against each other. Now, I do want to let you guys know, and I talked about this on this channel a lot. I'm a Latino, and the avatar, this beautiful avatar that you see here, yes, he mostly looks like me. He looks a lot like me. Okay, I'm basically bald-headed. Okay, I'm kind of tan. And the reason why I talk about these issues is because, you know, Hollywood wants to pretend like they care about quote-unquote minorities, Latinos and Africans, but they really fucking don't. Okay, they really fucking don't. Okay, it's just blue check marks, and I talk about blue check marks a lot here. They do that to make themselves look good. To make themselves look good because they think it's the right thing to do, right? But the right thing to do is taking away opportunities from redheads, which, by the way, it's absolutely unfair and absolutely hypocritical on Hollywood's and the media's part. And that's all I wanted to say about this whole, like, you know, ginger swapping with redheads. Whatever your thoughts are, please comment below. Tell me what you think. Like this video, and thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. This is Andy Matrix. Godspeed.